by Lindenwood. At the podium, head coach Jed Stugart. We've got junior running back Calen Campbell and senior defensive end Jonathan Harris. We'll go ahead and start with an opening statement from Coach.
Appreciate it. Well, it's good to be here. My first press conference or MIAA media day, so this is pretty exciting. I know, first of all, coming into a new program, so can't speak too much to last year, other than kind of what we've watched and how we've kind of coming into the spring and the winter, just kind of learning a little bit about our team. So I'll speak to, obviously the excitement we feel like and enthusiasm our teams had as we took over and got into the winter workouts. I think that's the one thing I really noticed about our football team is we felt like there was a quick buy-in. I think from an enthusiasm standpoint and just just kind of a ready to work to win mentality, I think is what we noticed. And so the transition's been good. I think what helped too is obviously real fortunate to have 7 coaches. 6 of my staff that came with me to come to Lindenwood, I think was a big asset to me, obviously, and as our staff, just from a camaraderie standpoint. So that helped with that transition. And so now that we've kind of got through that initial transition, it was good because we felt like our winter went well, and obviously going into spring and kind of learning our football team. And so now that we're kind of past that part, the next thing was really kind of really getting these guys and with these twos, with their leadership, it's been outstanding of really getting guys to be here and take part in a summer program. I think some of the success I've always been, I see people in the room and that I've always been admirers of that built great programs that I felt like that we took at Sioux Falls and were able to do there, and I really believe that the summer is a big part of that. And so we had a really great summer this year, and that's the part of the excitement is not being able to be out there with them, but you love the fact that you have so many guys staying back and working that now we're just really excited to get back with them and spend some time doing football and doing camp. So, our outlook, obviously I will say, I'm honored to have a chance to be a head coach in this conference. My history to this league goes back to, my days at Northern Colorado and coaching with a great man and Coach Glenn, and I see Coach Churchman in the room. We've had some great games back in the day, and so I was always when an opportunity to come into this conference, was something I felt like was a great opportunity for me and my family and our staff. So we're excited to be here. With that, obviously, I know it's a tough league, and we've got to get things together, and we got to know every week you're going into a tough game. And there's no breaks every week. So we know we got our work cut out for us, but I love our energy going into it.
All right, I'll go ahead and start things off for both of you players. Talk a little bit about how much you're a part of the learning process for a new coaching staff. Saying this team's fast, this team's going to come in and play this way. How much are you able to help the coaches as they kind of learn the MIAA?
I definitely say it's the biggest thing is with culture. The culture is basically changed from, new coaches coming in and especially like accountability, keeping everybody in check, just, making sure everybody is showing up to workouts, because, for some, it's voluntary workouts, but it's voluntarily mandatory, make it like that, and, just stepping in and knowing that, and just having a sense of urgency and just keeping everybody in check and just knowing that, we can really breed a winning culture through, just accountability and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I think we have a few years of experience playing in the MIAA, and we know it's very competitive. And these coaches, they have a great system, and it's just about us buying into what they're teaching us and what they were doing and what they've changed since they've come from Sioux Falls. And we just have to continue to get better because obviously what we were doing in the past wasn't good enough. But it's just about buying in and just trusting each other, trusting the coaches.
Now, Jonathan, obviously there's going to be some new quarterbacks in the league, but some of the guys from last year are back. I mean, how do you prepare for the quarterback that you know can beat you with his legs, but a lot of the quarterbacks in the league also throw the ball well?
That's also trust. You know, as a defense, we just have to worry about doing your 111 and trusting the guys around you to not to miss on their assignments, because we do have some very versatile quarterbacks in this league. And I think Coach Marshall, he's putting us in good positions, and we just have to work on communication and just trusting each other, and I think we'll be fine.
Calen, we talked a little bit to Jalen Zachary about this in the last session, but just a lot of quick guys on defense. The MIAA defense is, when you think about them, it's speed. As a running back, how do you compete against that?
Definitely just working on fine-tuning like the little things during the summertime and in the off season, doing like speed stuff, doing quick explosion stuff, and also fine-tuning, strength, because there's quick guys, and then there's also they're quick, and then they're strong also. So you got to be physical at the same time. It's a very athletic, very diverse athletic defenses that we play. So just fine-tuning those little things that'll help you.
Jonathan, we had a question on Twitter a little earlier. What makes the MIAA one of the best leagues in the country?
Everything, really. The coaches, the athletes. I think these are the best Division II athletes. I mean, I don't have experience at any other level, but I just know the guys I'm going against every week, they get better as the season goes on. And there's some great teams. Every year we have one or two teams in the playoffs, and I just think this is a very competitive league. It's the best athletes, best coaches, everything.
Do we have further questions for players? All right, we'll move to you, Coach. Obviously, you talked a little bit about looking at the MIAA from the outside. What's maybe that one thing that you've seen in the MIAA that is what makes it special?
Well, we had some experience against the MIAA. I mean, I think, obviously got a chance to play in a Mineral Water Bowl against a MIAA team, but, you see, our playoffs. I think, at the end of the day, the scholarship is a big deal. I think, we were in a conference where we couldn't be fully funded. And I think, you start to run out of gas a little bit in the playoffs when it comes to depth and things like that. And so obviously, like to what John said, the talent here, when you play teams in the MIAA and you watch them play in the national championship, I mean, they are just a tad bit faster. They are a tad bit bigger. I mean, we've experienced that. So I think, I think when people mention the MIAA being the best conference from a outsider last year, but having some experience, I knew exactly what they were talking about, and so it's real evident.
All right, Coach, talk a little bit about, getting the team maybe up from that bottom tier of teams, and obviously a lot of closeness if you look at the poll, but just what's it going to take to kind of get to that next level, get in that top half of the league? Yeah,
we've talked a lot about this in springtime. It's about kind of what's important now mentality, to quit hanging your head if something bad goes wrong. We got to change our mindset that, there's not, we lose our memory. If something goes bad, that maybe something starts to fall apart. So we spent a lot of time this offseason really working on, the next play. And coaches polls and media polls, all those things are great. I mean, it might be something we hang up just to let the kids know, because that's kind of what coaches do, I guess. But in our locker room, it's all about kind of it's cliched a little bit, but we really do kind of have a mindset about we want to try to win the next practice and really keep it internal right now to just get better every day, because you can't, especially in a league like this, week in and week out, you can't pay too much attention about polls and all this stuff. We got to try to get better. We know where we're at and where we're going, so we've got to take care of it one day at a time.
All right, now obviously being in your first year, talk a little bit about coming here on Media Day, getting a chance to come with your players to the place where they're going to play the national championship, and kind of what motivation that gives you.
Well, I mean, it's number one, I give a lot of credit to this league. I think it's great to do this. I think this was something in my previous conference that was always talked about, and it just could never get off the ground. I think it's special for all of our players to be able to come down and celebrate, a day like this and talk about our program. So to me, it's real special because we haven't had this, and so I know it might, when you come in with fresh eyes, you appreciate this. I think, these guys, we were talking about it coming down and walking through in the park. I got the chance to be here before when we played the Mineral Water Bowl. We came through here and toured it just to kind of let our players get a little inspirational off that. So I think it's real special that we do this.
Coach, the Rams aren't in St. Louis anymore, so everybody's going to be following Lindenwood, right?
Absolutely. It's absolutely.
In all seriousness, in the big picture, how do you get Lindenwood noticed in the St. Louis landscape?
Well, you got to win. I mean, who are we kidding? I mean, you got to put on a team that you got to have a winning mindset. You got to win. I think the big thing is to get people excited. I mean, I know we have all these strategies that people talk about getting people at games, but at the end of the day, people want to see highly competitive games, and so trying to win every game and kind of competing well. It's going to be hard to win every game in this league. We know that. But I think, number one, I'm really proud of our leadership from an administrative standpoint with a new athletic director, fairly new, just a little over a year, that's kind of has that as in the forefront of his mind, that's important to him. And so, really working hard from a media standpoint to, like you just said, with the Rams not being there, there's a good, you're going to have the best of the best every week coming into Lindenwood every other week to see a great football game and see another great football team as well. So we just got to get that message out there. But at the end of the day, you got to win football games. You got to kind of get people excited, and that's kind of our goal. That's everybody's goal here, is to try to win, to get everybody excited.
All right, any questions for players or coaches? All right, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you all.
Players, you guys will have Facebook Live next. See who wants to talk to you.
Us to make sexual assault unacceptable.
Here are a few tips that can help. Talk to your friends honestly and openly about sexual assault.
Don't be a bystander. If you see something, intervene in any way you can.
Be direct. Ask someone who looks like they may need help if they're okay.
It's on us!
All right, we're joined by Northeastern State head coach Rob Robinson, senior wide receiver Zach King, and senior linebacker Lamore Wise. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach.
Just a great day to be here. Brought Lamore Wise, starting inside linebacker for us, team captain, senior from St. Louis. He will be a graduate in December this year. And then Zach King, wide receiver from Bonita, and he will graduate. He could graduate in December, but he wanted to take, what was that?
Physics 2.
Physics 2 in the spring with not a lot of pressure on it. So we're going to go ahead and let him do that. But two great leaders of our team, just guys that have come through our program and do things the right way, and really looking forward to what they're going to do their senior year.
All right, I'll go ahead and start things off. Zach, is there ever not any pressure in Physics 2?
I don't know. I haven't really got into that yet, so it's kind of something that we'll have to find out.
All right, Lamore, we'll move on to you. At the linebacker position, you see a lot of the quick guys. You see the wide receivers. You see the running backs. But talk a little bit about the quarterbacks. In this league, they can move with their legs, but they're also going to be able to hit you with some good passes. Just talk about preparing for the quarterbacks in the MIAA.
First of all, I'd like to say thanks to Coach Rob for bringing me here. To answer the question, on defense, we communicate and we play as one. So I mean, if I don't do my job, the D-line and the D-backs will help me out, and vice versa.
All right, Zach, talk a little bit about the defenses. Obviously, a lot of speed on defense. You know, what is your preparation? You know, maybe finding ways to beat guys that are taller or faster or even bigger.
Right. There's a lot of good defenses in this league. We can. It just comes down to, you know, just working together and just putting together an offense and being strong and working as one, kind of like he said on the defense, and just having trust in our line and having trust in our quarterback and all the receiving core and tight ends, everything. It just goes all the way down, and just finding the open spots when they're there.
Lamore, this is you've yet to play it down for NSU yet, but it speaks to what Coach Rob thinks about you with you being here today. Talk about the role that you had on the team last season, and how will that benefit you moving forward?
He played last season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about the experience from last season, how that will benefit you moving forward.
Last year I had Stephon Hurd. Well, he graduated. He was like a mentor to me. He was a safety. The stuff that I didn't know, that Coach Rock, that I was scared to talk to Coach Ladd about, I went to Stephon, and he like gave me the heads up. So that's what I plan to give back to the team, where if somebody scared to talk to the coach, they can talk to me, because I know the defense inside out.
And Zach, the connection that Dominic had with you guys in the receiving core could be lethal at times. Talk about how that connection could develop for this year.
Yeah, it's just good to, you know, have a quarterback that's coming back, and a receiving core that we lost 2 receivers, I believe, and they were big parts to our core. But it's just good to have that connection with the quarterback. You know, going in, we worked all off season, all spring with the same 2 quarterbacks, and we have quarterbacks competing every day and receivers competing every day, and it's just good to be able to work all summer with him and just with everyone going into this season.
And Coach Robinson, as far as the process that's been instilled into this program over the last several years, you have more and more program players this year more than ever. Talk about how that benefits you going into the season.
You know, it was just great in the spring. Very little turnover. Everybody knew what they expected, and then the guys kind of enhanced that and took it to another level. It was very good. They know coming into fall camp what to expect now. The young guys can go to the older guys, hey, what's going to happen here? What do I need to be here? And these guys do a great job. We probably had 15 freshmen on campus this summer already gelling with our guys. So these guys have just done a great job. And then showing them the work ethic. And that was my biggest thing. That's why these 2 are sitting here today, their work ethic to train these guys and show them what it takes to compete in this league.
And I know that size and strength was one of the things that you prioritized in the offseason. Talk about the gains that you've made in that area.
You know, I really noticed it in the spring when we got done with spring ball and we were doing off-season conditioning and hit about 90 one day, and our linebackers and DBs were, you know, take their shirts off, and you saw the bodies that you needed to have to play in this conference, the bodies type, okay, now we look like grown men playing football. That's kind of that's when it dinged on me that we're almost to where we need to get to.
All right, for the players, and we'll start with Zach, you know, being here where the national championship is played, you know, obviously the goal is to get here this year, but if not, you know, seeing this facility, and how do you pass that on to the players when you get home and say, you know, that's somewhere you want to get to?
Well, for sure. Just once again, I want to thank Coach Rob for the opportunity to come and just see what it's like. You know, it would be awesome to come back, and just the atmosphere, just walking in the stadium and just being here, knowing that the national championship's here and it's a place you want to be. And if not this year, for sure in the future, and just letting people know that this is a place that you want to play at, you know.
As I was walking into the front door, I got goosebumps because I noticed that this place could get rowdy and loud, and I had that feeling that possibly we can be here one day. So when I go back to the school, I'm just tell my teammates and my brothers to like take it one day at a time, one game at a time, one practice at a time, and it's the big goal.
And Coach, we've talked a lot at media days. You know, you were no stranger to the league coming in. You've kind of started knocking on the door. You've got things going. What maybe is the one kind of X factor you've been looking for to make that move into the league, maybe other than the strength and the size?
Confidence. It's what it all boils down to with this team. We took Pitt to double overtime, and then, you win that one. It's sky high. We competed with a lot of teams last year. It's just the confidence factor was not there, and it's hard to build that. You can't just throw it out there and say, get your confidence. It's it's all on just keeping the process going, and you've got to get a first win. First week is huge. Coming in, we got to take Washburn down, and then their minds and confidence is going to go sky high.
I think we've got a question from Twitter.
Yes, we have a question from PDP. How are you guys preparing for your first week matchup?
Right now it's a great matchup for us to prepare for because it's a system that I ran before, very similar style. So we'll get a lot of good on good through the week of leading up to it because we're running the same similar style offense. So it's very good. A lot of the same thought process going in on. So that really helps out knowing in a familiar foe coming in. The only thing will be they do have a new quarterback, and that does change. Everybody's different in their skill level, so you don't know exactly what to expect. And I listened to his on the way in just so I knew, kind of what he was thinking. He's going to go back to the old 2 quarterback system, so that'll be a challenge for our guys to start out with.
All right, let's go again to the players. We asked Coach, what that X factor is. You guys have seen the league. What do you think? Is it going to take that confidence to get some of those big games, get that game or two that kind of propels you into that top half of the league?
My opinion is last year we wasn't in shape. So we wasn't in shape. We was undersized. So we hit it off season. We've been grinding off season. We in shape, and we gonna be ready.
For sure, just following up on that, confidence is huge. And just unity and coming together as a family. Just making sure we're together on every page. Offense and defense and special teams all together. Just putting everything together and having confidence.
Now, Coach, you're in a unique position. Only a couple of coaches in this league have a quarterback coming back. How big is that?
That's you sleep at night a little bit better with that. You don't have to break a guy in. Dom knows the league, knows what to expect when he's coming in. Receivers are comfortable. And going along with that, we have a great backup that's going to push him. And Blaine Armstrong and he has his own set of skill set. They're 2 different quarterbacks. So that's just a very good comfort level. Our offensive line is used to his voice, just everything that goes along with it, and then waiting for Dom to just take the next step. And because when you look at it, he went from Minnesota, Hutch JUCO, to us. That was 3 offenses in 3 semesters. Now he's got a year under his belt under our system. So that's just another confidence factor. We can do a little bit more each week with him.
All right, Zach, talk a little bit about, players coming in that you've seen. Coach talked about having freshmen. How big is it to have those young guys in, just to let them see what they can expect?
It's important to just bring them in and kind of show them what the system is and letting them just know, what work it's going to be and what it is, like on a weekly basis. And it's just important because you can kind of take them under your belt and help share the offense with them, and they can get it early, instead of having to wait until right before season starts. They can, whenever they come in early, they get in the system, and we just talk to them and give them confidence.
And, working apart from coaches, what do you have a chance to teach them as older players during the summer?
I try to tell them the do's and the don'ts, the stuff to do and the stuff not to do. I tell them class is serious. I give them my background, I give them what I've been through, and I just try to tell them to gel as quick as you can because we need team chemistry here. And nobody's a captain until first game. So if they got potential to be something great, don't hinder themselves just because they freshmen and they feel like they can't come in and play right away, because that's not the case. The best will play.
Coach, talk a little bit about now getting deeper into recruiting classes. Have you kind of been able to turn things the way you want it?
I think now we have our last 2 classes, 27 and 26 kids, just getting a foundation and guys that fit our program. Our players have a lot of input when we recruit kids. Do we like this kid? Coach, that kid was a little out there. I don't see him fitting in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. And our coaches know now, because some of our coaches have never been in this league. Now they know what kind of player to even bring to the table. And we do a great job in our spring recruiting following through our fall. We knock a lot of kids off the board early, so we can really streamline and get personal relationships with those recruits.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.